I'm going to call to order the City of Forest Park Council work session. This is for September 14, 2020. This is a work session. Let's see, Chelsea's come in. The items that we have for the work session are below the line. So we will start with item, as always, the questions would be if you have anything, if anybody has anything that they want to discuss about the underlined item. But before I start, let me say that normally we would not have had this meeting because the items are under the line, but because we've been on break and this is our first meeting back, I thought we should probably go ahead and have this meeting. So we'll start with the first item on here is municipal bond fund request, Sharon Road project that's going to be Reggie. I don't know if you have anything you want to tell us about that one or not.
Other than that, in my perspective of what's being presented, that these monies or the funds are requested and have been approved, that they will be added to what has been defined for the Sharon Road project.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments on that, or any questions for Don or Reggie? No one. Next item is the bank depository updates.
Real quickly, it's a routine annual thing, maintaining our primary depository. But the only difference is they're adding an additional payment platform, Tyler Tech, that is more all-inclusive for the residents. That's it.
Anybody got any questions on that one? Next one is solid waste collection fee change.
Yeah, this is an increase of 50 cents on the full service, the eco tier, and also on the waste hauling fee, or the container fee. And it's 50 cents to each one of those. But I was interested in comparing where the prices were before we went to Rumpke. And it's only in the last 12 years, a 19-cent increase in the full service. We still don't, even with this 50 cents addition, we still aren't in the eco tier where we were in 2008. And also with the addition to the cost of the rental for the container, that's not where it was as of 2008. So the effect is that for 12 years, we've only raised the full service 19 cents.
Yeah. I did not ask Wright too, but I know that in past years, and sometimes he's given us even, actually we haven't had that many increases since we started this, but I can tell you that if we were not doing this and we did not have this contract, our rates would be much higher.
Oh, considerably higher,
Yeah.
considerably higher.
Okay, any questions on that from anybody?
Yep.
Next one is disposal of surplus and obsolete properties.
Yep, this is also routine. I found it interesting that a lot of these electronic equipment that they're want to declare obsolete and get rid of is potentially going either to Clean Lights right here in Forest Park or Cincinnati Computer Cooperative. So,
at one point, for those of you who don't remember or don't know, we used to have an auction over in the fire department bays where we would auction off surplus materials, not just computer stuff, but we auction off everything, bicycles, all of that stuff. But it turned out two things. One, it got to be more trouble than it was worth, because it's like having a yard sale. You haul all this stuff out there and put it up for sale, and maybe 2 people would come by and buy something, and then you'd have to haul it all back up or find somewhere to put it. And at one point, I think too, and God, I can't remember how many years this has been. Denise, you or everyone might remember, but we had some problems when we changed out computers, and somehow or another, one of the hard drives and one of the computers didn't get destroyed, and it ended up somebody in Columbus purchased it. And the next thing we knew, we had people's names, birthdays all over everywhere. So that was another reason that we stopped doing it, and we make sure that we don't nobody can get that vital information out there. So even if we were doing computers, they would not have the hard drives with them. The next one would be new permitting hosted solutions.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting, because we've been using this Cages system, which is a countywide system for tracking a lot of information. We've been using it for our permitting and property maintenance. And because it's not owned by us, it's owned by the county, we can't tailor it or alter it to suit our own needs. And so they've been looking for a while at ways other options. And they were looking at 5 vendors and also including Cages, and decided that OpenGov will do what we need in a more tailored fashion. So the proposition is to go to OpenGov.
Okay. The last one, Mr. Brown, supplements to Codes of Ordinances book.
I actually don't have any. I don't have anything to add on that. I guess I'll have to defer to you, Mr. Mayor.
Don, you can jump in on this. We're required by law to keep records and books of all of our codes, and every once in a while we have to update code. When we have to update codes and ordinances, we have to make sure that we have them in some places so that they can be readily accessed. And this is in this case, Don, I think we're just making the note that we're doing what we're required to do by law.
Oh, so housekeeping.
Yeah, it's basically just we do this once every year or two, and we just if you look at it on our website, we have a service that provides and codifies all of our ordinances and rules and regulations. And as we pass ordinances that change that, the service puts them in the right place, and they give the code sections and makes it searchable. And this is just updating that program with all of the most recent changes, and allows the service that we use to make those changes.
Okay. Anybody? That's all of the items that was on the work session schedule. I'd ask Don also because we've been on recess and because of COVID and not having been getting together, I'd ask Don to just kind of give us an update on some of the things that's been going on in the city, and some of the things that are still ongoing.
Can I ask my question before he goes into that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Since you were talking about the ordinance and things like that, yeah. I want us to take another look at the ordinance when it comes to dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Councilwoman Denise had a very unfortunate incident when she was out in the neighborhood. She was bitten by a dog. And as I understand it from, I know she talked to me about it. And one of the things that we probably do need to do, right now we require people to have their dogs in restraint, either on a leash or chained or whatever. But in this instance, I believe, Denise, and correct me if I'm wrong, the chain did not prohibit the dog from going outside of the property and biting her.
He
So I
actually
know,
broke whatever they
Broke-
had him on.
yeah, it
broke the
wasn't
chain.
it wasn't strong
Oh,
enough
wow.
to keep it.
Yeah,
It was a
broke the
big
chain.
dog.
Yeah, broke the chain.
It was a big dog. So we do need
Wow.
to we do need to do, and
80 something.
quite frankly, this is something that for years and years and years I have talked about. You know, anybody can have a pet if they want. That's their right, but they also have to take responsibilities for those. They need to make sure that they're secure. They need to make sure that they are not in a position where they can get away and attack or hurt somebody. Fortunately, in this case, even though I know it was very psychologically traumatic, I don't. She wasn't severely bitten, but it should not have happened.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things. Aaron, if you would you touch base with Mr. Anderson and get a copy of that and review it, if you
Okay.
would, Aaron. Yeah.
So,
And I know in the past we've had problems with people doing things that they should not, that legally they aren't allowed to do. We've had people who are breeding, and you're not allowed to do that. You have people who a lot of the thinking is, it's my dog, it's my property. I don't really have to have my dog on a restraint if the dog is on my property. But dogs are not people; they're animals, and they can and do get away from their owners or get away from people. And I think one of the worst things is you find that, especially in walking dogs, and I see it quite a bit, you find little kids walking dogs that are bigger than the kids. And that, to me, that's that's a problem waiting to happen. So we do need to take a look at that. Unfortunately, I think, and I know Don has said the same thing about townships that I say about the county sometimes. They have rules and regulations, but they're almost meaningless unless they've changed within the last few years. The licensing of dogs is something like $26. It was $13.50, but if you paid it late, it was $26. So it's another one of those things that, so what? I'm not going to waste my time and energy going, get a license for my dog. I'll take a chance on getting caught. It's only going to cost me at most $26. And I know that there are several people who do not get their dog, get shots for their dog. And frankly, I don't think it's required that they get them. I think what it is if your dog bites somebody and it is not, you are liable for damages. But again, it's like closing the barn door after the horse is out. So that is something that we do probably need to take a look at. A lot of these things have been on the books for years and years and years and haven't been changed. And we need to look at least updated. Anything else from anybody else before we go to Don?
I was going to ask Denise in a general perspective, what's the area so I can be careful if I'm out and about.
It was Key Ridge.
Okay.
And the first thing out of his mouth, he's never done this before. I don't care about before, but he did it this time.
my dog,
I had a big bruise on my leg.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't think it was bad. And then he called me and I said, now I'm afraid to walk the neighborhood because I usually walk.
Yeah.
He said, oh, you shouldn't be afraid. The dog's not going to bother you. I said, apparently not. That's not the case because your dog, while you were there with your dog, got loose.
Yeah.
And then there was a kid coming down the street. Had I not been between two cars, and I wasn't on this man's property, had I not been between two cars, it would have been worse because that dog weighed almost 90 pounds. He would have had me down had I not been between the cars. And there was a kid across the street coming down on a bike, a little kid. I said it could have been that kid there that the dog had gotten, But people love their
All right.
dogs more than they do
Yeah.
people. But
Thank God for the cars.
Oh, yeah.
right.
All right.
Okay, Don.
Great. I want to, again, the mayor and I talked. I want to give everybody a little update about, and I'll go by department. We've been I put it in here by department, and I'll give you this in writing at the council meeting. But just wanted to let everybody know kind of what we've been doing. It's been quite a while since we've had a chance to talk, and I want to bring everybody up to date on some of the things that are going on in the city. Start out with the building department. They've had a busy summer as both residential and commercial building permits applications have increased dramatically this year. Again, that's probably because of the COVID, people staying home more. Large projects include the Winton Woods School, which is about 60% complete right now. The Waycross Reserve with one housing area. They have one house again in progress with the footings poured. They have another single family home permit ready to be issued, and they have 4 additional already submitted, and they're in the review process. So currently 6 houses under either beginning process or in review of their plans. The Rainstorm Car Wash, it's being reviewed and is waiting some revisions from the submitter, and the Kroger alterations again are already have been reviewed, and they are beginning the construction. If you notice, if you've been over there, they've also been working, and this is across the board with all of our departments. We've been working updating our fee schedules, as well as the Forest Park Code of Ordinances. Again, Chapter 152, the Building Code, and 154, the miscellaneous land regulations. Again, of anticipation of acquiring new permitting software. So we are, again, the permitting software is going to serve the building department, the community development department, and the property maintenance department, and other departments as well. So this is going to be a big, a nice change that we'll see in terms of efficiencies and the ability to work basically on a straight through processing from beginning to end with increased efficiency and less human interaction in terms of having to type things up 3 or 4 or 5 times as papers flow through the process. We're trying to eliminate paper completely. The community development department, there's been a street name change. The street name change of the unconnected section of Bollinger Road from that name to the name of Versailles Drive was approved by council. The resolution was passed in July, if you remember that. Till recently, there were 2 items of unfinished business to be completed to fully implement the change. The official city maps include the zoning map, have been updated, and as of late August, a new street sign is in place, now identifying the street as Versailles Drive. So that looks like that's complete. The Rainstorm Car Wash, again, was approved for a development plan for a new Rainstorm Car Wash by the Planning Commission. That's at 11130 Hamilton Avenue. That's next to Frisch's, across from the North Central Branch Library. The Rainstorm is a full-service car wash, a tunnel-type car wash, and are relatively new to the area. The Planning Commission insisted that the building have a high-end appearance, and the new car wash will provide a service that has not been available at a location within Forest Park. Economic development work continues on several projects, including substantial renovations by both Kroger and Emeritus. A new office prospect will bring a regional office to Carolyn Park at the end of 2020. Kid Coffee and Nair Properties are moving forward with a renovation of the former Fitworks building. Fax and Machining and Magna Machine continue to work on 2 multi-million-dollar projects in our Northland Business District. Collectively, these projects represent about $20 million in business investment. These companies will create and retain approximately 1,200 jobs. The city's also launched 2 new initiatives consistent with directives from City Council. Staff established a COVID relief grant program for small businesses to help offset unanticipated expenses due to the pandemic. We have also put together a request for qualifications for several commercial real estate firms to market city-owned properties acquired as part of our redevelopment initiative. Staff recommendation could be to City Council at their first meeting in October, where we would select the commercial real estate firm to represent our properties. The goal would be to put our properties actively seeking development and sale of any properties that the city owns. This will include not only the larger properties down in the old Kmart building and so forth, but also the residential properties that we own that we've acquired through the land bank. We've also opened discussions with our contacts in Columbus to access a new Jobs Ohio initiative that provides funding for cities to facilitate the redevelopment of underperforming retail buildings or create economic development assistance centers to promote new business development. This program could be a source of funding for our community's comprehensive redevelopment initiative. Environmental awareness, the large appliance collection ended in August with high participation rate, 62 households collecting 76 appliances. The Reforest Forest Park program is wrapping up with 79 trees reserved. Reserved trees will be delivered to households on Tuesday, October 13th. A used tire collection event has been scheduled for Saturday, September 26th from 10 to 1, with drop-off location being at the City Hall parking lot. Finance and tax. As renovations occur to the Finance and Tax Office, if you haven't been by City Hall, you see a lot of dust. The tax office is continuing to operate out of the senior center. Our tax associates are still utilizing their workstations from tax season, so they are separated and available for the public if they need to come in. Still following all of our COVID social distancing rules and regulations. As residents enter the senior center, they proceed directly to an available associate or have a seat in the waiting area until someone's available to assist them. Finance department staff is currently occupying extra spaces within the municipal building and the senior center. However, accommodations have been made to allow for the regular operations of the department to continue. Currently, the main focus of the finance department is the preparation of the 2021 budget, which will be presented shortly. Departmental meetings begin the week of September the 28th, where we will begin the requests for budget and the budget hearings for each department and bring that forward through City Council as well. The tax season, the next tax season for our tax associates will be October 15th. That is the extension due date. We expect again to have some more activity, a lot of activity on that date, and we're prepared at the senior center to accommodate that again. Once we are through that date, we expect to have the construction completed in City Hall, and then from October 15th through the first week of November 1st, we expect to move everybody back into the new offices. These offices are being made specifically to move people apart, to keep people from being on top of each other when they work. They're more private offices, so that people do not have to work on top of each other. Again, this is all COVID related. We're also creating a section for the public, which will allow public to come into City Hall and be individual workstations. Again, not to be on top of each other. They'll have their private information to be able to be kept private by the walls and the glass that is being built as we speak, quite frankly. So hopefully all that construction will be done by the 1st of November. The fire department, they've been very active recently. They have done hurricane relief. We sent the fire department Lieutenant Scott Brown was deployed to provide disaster relief and support for Hurricane Laura as part of the Ohio Task Force 1. with the current tropical storm Sally being categorized as a Category 2 hurricane, it's possible that we're looking for additional deployments with Lieutenant Scott Brown and Captain Bill Black. Hiring, we're conducting a part-time hiring process in the next 2 weeks. Physical agility testing will occur the next 2 weekends. Successful candidates will be interviewed by Captain Black and Assistant Chief Jermaine Hill the following weeks. We have applied for a SAFER grant, which will add firefighters, full-time firefighters, 2 hour and pay for them for a certain amount of time. We have applied for that SAFER grant through FEMA for additional staffing. Our goal is to hire 6 additional firefighters by year end or thereabouts. We'll be notified by the end of September if the grant is awarded. Again, we'll give you more information on that as well. We Thrive Forest Park, due to public demand, our Saturday weekend fitness program will be extended through the fall, along with Zumba. They're adding kickboxing, yoga, and boot camp classes. We'll continue the classes until the weather gets bad. We'll also be conducting community assessment through Hamilton County Public Health. A Zoom meeting will be held to discuss the findings. Again, we'll provide you information on that when it becomes available. We're looking for participants from both city officials and community members. The date for the meeting hasn't been set. Human Resources has been very active as well. The Assistant City Manager continue to provide support in a multitude of areas. Various departments on several department projects, including building renovations, IT projects, including software upgrades, and HR policy updates. In general, we're reviewing all of our policies, updating them across the board for all departments, and making sure that they align with the actual procedures and our working policies that we've been using. Make sure that they're written and updated for the way we do business currently. And again, you'll be receiving, once we've all got them all accumulated, we'll be updating those, provide those to City Council as well. Police officer written and agility tests are coming forward. Firefighter EMT written tests have come forward. The commission has also recommended to City Council adopt rules and regulations to change, allowing residents to apply for full-time positions, the ability to receive up to 5 additional points if they are full-time residents of the city of Forest Park. We're still discussing how that's going to work, and we'll bring that forward as well. Information technology has been our busiest department, as it always is. With COVID and with all the things that are going on in the city, we're updating a lot of our old systems and putting them in place so that we can better serve the citizens without whether it's online, so we don't have that personal contact with everybody right on top of each other, and trying to make things as 21st century as we can. And so we're looking at all of our systems and we're updating them. We're about 90% complete with our new website transition. We hope to have that done by the end of October. We're transitioning into a new agenda management program, which you'll all be seeing. We're doing training later this week. So that will allow, again, we think it's extreme, a better flow of information to not only you folks for the agenda, but also to help Sally getting all that information out. And again, to be more transparent to the public. We have submitted, and you'll be seeing the new permitting software. They were very active in reviewing that. It's been fully reviewed and vetted by our IT staff. We've looked at new stormwater management software solutions, again, which we are bringing forward a solution for that. That is probably 20-year-old program. We need better functionality, and we just need to get rid of some of these things that where we have multiple systems doing the same type of program across departmental lines. the big thing that we're doing right now, and we think we figured it out. We've had some issues with Zoom because of we've been very, very cognizant of locking down our IT department and our information so that we don't get hit with ransomware and have a lot of hacks and so forth. But in that, since we're all doing a lot of Zoom meetings now, those firewall restrictions have been very restrictive and interfere with a lot of the Zoom meetings. So we think we've got that figured out now. So hopefully those things won't continue to occur, and we'll be able to go 100% Zoom meetings at City Hall with all people. Right now, if there's more than one person, it starts to mess up the firewall, and the firewall stops it, and it starts to lock up, and so we have some issues. But we think we've fixed that. The IT's been working on that really hard. They've also worked with our electrical contractors to make sure that all of these capital improvements and these office relocations, that they have the proper, not only electric, but they also have the proper IT support and wiring that will help, again, make it more efficient and make it work better. We're adding kiosks to the lobby, again, to help folks be more self-servant so that they can serve themselves without having the intervention of staff. Again, that COVID related, but it's also efficiency related. Let them get the forms created, give them a place to create them and work on them and fill them out on their own, and then we can process them after that rather than sitting down one-on-one. I think it'll be a better and more efficient use of our employees' time and energy to help folks once we determine, rather than filling out a form, to help them get whatever they need done with that form. Our police department is resuming Officer Davis has resumed visiting daycares. Again, she's taking appropriate precautions to interact safely with children. She's also visiting Forest Park churches. In office, the police department assisted Day Spring Church with a backpack giveaway. The church does this every year to assist families with school supplies. Also in August, the police department joined the Forest Park Community of Churches resource team at Kemper Road Christian Church and distributed 300 boxes of food, courtesy of the Free Store Food Bank. I know many of you council members have been involved with that, and it's greatly, it's a great need, and it's a great social service that we're providing our citizens. On September 3rd, the We Thrive Community Patrol, Forest Chapel Church, and the University of Cincinnati nursing students and Forest Park Police Fire distributed 150 boxes of produce to 106 families. The total family members were 475. So that, again, supported 475 individual folks. So again, thank you. The next produce pop-up will be October 8th at Forest Park Church. On October 24th, the Forest Park Police Department will be participating in the National Take Back Initiative of unused and expired prescription drugs. It gives everybody an opportunity to not to flush those drugs down the toilet or stow them in the garbage where kids could get at them. Bring them to us, and we'll take care of them. Officer Davis will participate and distribute information as soon as our location is approved as a collection site. The police department has been placing the mobile speed board throughout Forest Park and areas residents identify as problem speed areas. We've got a lot of complaints with a lot of speeding, and we're trying to do the best we can. Again, we've got a lot of speeding, not only on Winton Road and some of the major roads, but a lot of the back streets, which is a concern to us. So hopefully, as we try and get the word out to people that, if they're speeding and they hit somebody, they run somebody over, it's probably going to be one of their neighbors. So if you're out there and you're listening, slow it down and be careful in these residential neighborhoods. They're full of kids, lots of people out. Police department training for August, including implicit bias, pursuit policy review, and verbal de-escalation programs. In addition to their normal monthly training, each police officer spent 4 hours of emergency vehicle driving course located at Butler Tech Police Academy. Each officer also participated in hands-on and scenario-based training in pursuit driving, routine driving, use of deployment stop sticks, and verbal de-escalation while conducting a traffic stop. This is very important to us, and it goes right into our community-based policing model. We're training our people to de-escalate and to do a good job and respect not only our citizens, but anybody they come in contact with. And that respect goes a long way. But we're training them properly, and it's a focus on in our department. It's been a focus for years, and we're very proud of our ability to and our record with regards to our community involvement and our ability to de-escalate. Lieutenant Pope also conducted emergency, it's that time of year, school's starting, conducted emergency and active shooter training for teachers and staff at Winton Woods High School. Teachers and staff are still in the building in Winton Woods Elementary and Winton Woods Intermediate. Going along here, the Public Works recently completed a majority of the paving projects. Sharon from Embassy, just short of Waycross, the divided turns and merge lanes in Northland at Sharon, Fresno from Ken to Southland, Southland from Kemper to Rose, Southland from Sharon to Bollinger and Olive Grandin. Curb and gutter is also replaced on Southland and Kemper. We were able, these projects came in on time and on budget. We actually had a lot of savings in these projects, so we're going to redirect some of those savings into resurfacing Quail Ridge Court and Quail Court with some minor repairs, including road patches and multiple locations. We're going to mill down the roadway and get the humps out of Winton as well. So those things are upcoming. You'll be getting more information about that. A lot of folks you see on Winton Road there, you'll see those guys boring under the road. That's the 5G Verizon 5G network that they're installing. They're putting that in the right of way. We're managing as best we can with those folks because they're in the right of way and they're a public utility. They have the right to be there. So we're using whatever we can do to make sure that our biggest thing is that the restoration occurs and that they put it back the way they found it. And that really is our big concern. And that they maintain that while they're working, they maintain a safe working environment. They don't leave machines that aren't being used and they're stored on site. We've had them move them for the weekend so they don't become traffic hazards. We have them create, move the traffic cones and so forth when they're done. So they've been moving down the street. But if you get calls, that's what that is. That's a Verizon project. Again, stormwater has been very busy as well. They've contracted and repaired 6 catch basins, drainage creeks. So they've had 1 swale realignment. They've finally got started on the project the week of the 9/7 at the Wright Farm West Regional Detention Basin. They're going to remove approximately 6 feet of accumulated settlement from the basin and install protective control structures to prevent frequent blockages of the structure. The project involves a removal of more than 4,000 cubic yards of accumulated settlement. The stormwater department's also planned 3 remaining smaller maintenance projects at the outfall and drainage locations to improve the system, and repair and replace approximately 30 catch basins throughout the city this coming fall. So if you get questions on what's going on at the Wright Farm Regional Detention Basin, that's it. Finally, the senior center, recreation, park rentals have been suspended for the remainder 2020 due to COVID. Pleasant Run Farms is hosting our Little Dribblers fall soccer program for children ages 4 to 6. Basketball signups have been put on hold until the state of Ohio issues guidelines for indoor sports. The park board will resume in-person meetings at its Wednesday, October 7th meeting at 6:30 again. That'll be, obviously, there'll be social distancing and making sure that they follow all those requirements. Seniors, again, they're our biggest asset, but they're also the ones who've been affected significantly over this last 6 months. Senior programs events have basically been canceled indefinitely due to COVID. We're looking at other programs, and we'll be bringing those out more where we can social distance the seniors and allow them to get back into the senior center on a controlled basis. The seniors did hold their annual school supply drive the week of August 17th. Over 200 items and $200 was collected and distributed. They used the money to purchase items, distributed to Wintonwood School District and local daycares. The seniors are being contacted every day. They receive weekly emails, bi-weekly phone calls from our senior advisory board member or the park and recreation coordinator. All programs and events and rentals at the senior center, again, have been canceled indefinitely due to COVID. Also, right now, as I said earlier, we're using the senior center as our office for our tax and finance office while we're reconstructing the municipal building. Finally, the senior center will be used as a polling location this year. We think that it's important that our citizens know that, whether they're voting online, whether they're or through the mail or absentee or however they're doing it. There will be in-person voting at our senior center for folks who, for those precincts that have always traditionally been there. We've the board of we've worked with the board of elections to do the best that they can and they've assured us that they'll be providing social distancing and maintaining. They're in charge of that facility once they take it over, and we're pretty sure that that they're at least going to be able to handle that election. So if you get any questions about voting will be in person at the senior center for those particular spots. And that is about it. I know it's a long update.
Yeah, all right. That, as Don said, that's a lot of information. I know we might have some questions, but at this time, what I would suggest is let's wait until we get in hand in front of us so we can read through these items, because I believe once you've read through them, they may answer most of your questions. And as Don said, a number of them are not yet complete and are still works in progress. So with that, I'm going to, if anybody else has no other items, we come before the work session. What we're going to do at this point is I'm going to adjourn the work session. Then we will, the Ways and Means Committee will convene, and then they will take it from there. So if there are no other items for work session at this time, I will declare that the work session is adjourned.
I note that it is 7:16 and that present are myself as chair and Denise Holt and Reggie Sylvester as members. I also note that we have as guests the rest of the council, Mayor Johnson, Second Vice Mayor Rosalind Moore, Aaron Brown, Councilwoman Nuss, and also the City Manager, Don Jones. We are going to go into executive session momentarily, but I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes of June 6th.
June 8th.
I'm sorry,
I make a motion.
Thank you. Denise? Reggie,
I make a motion
second?
to approve the June 8th minutes.
Reggie, do you second that?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Yeah. I second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passed. I would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss the purchase of land. Would I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to go into an executive session to discuss the purchase of land.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Can I ask that Waycross send us to a private room for executive session? Convene from executives, or do I have to have a motion, Chuck? Do you remember? To reconvene from an executive session?
Yes, you do.
Could I entertain a motion to reconvene from executives, or to adjourn from executive session and reconvene the Ways and Means Committee meeting?
I make a motion to leave the, Ross,
Go ahead.
I make a motion to
Adjourn executive session.
adjourn the executive session and return to the regular Ways and Means Committee meeting.
Thank you. Reggie, you gonna second that?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Is there, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. For the sake of any viewers, that no action was taken in executive session. Is there anything else for the good of the order? Any other business? Hearing none, I will adjourn at 8:08.
Thank you, folks.